Welcome back to the Self-Started Show, episode 13. I'm your host, Alex, and today we have a special guest, PokeTips Mike.
How's it going? I'm Mike, PokeTips Mike. Thank you for having me on the podcast today.
Yeah, of course, man. Happy to have you here.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, so, Mike, could you kind of tell us why you're on the show and why we brought you on here, and maybe a little more about who you are?
All right, well, for those of you that don't know, I'm Mike, like I said before. I run a YouTube channel called PokeTips. I just hit a few days ago about 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, which
Congratulations.
is a huge accomplishment
That's awesome.
for me. Thank you so much. Yeah, this guy, he knew me for a while. He knew me before I was even PokeTips Mike, so...
Back in the day, man.
Back in the good old days. But yeah, I do Pokemon content on YouTube. I do all various different things. I do guides, let's plays, randomizers, if that means anything to you. Basically anything to do with Pokemon, I do it on my channel. And I have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. Dude, that's awesome. Wow. So, today, since you are the first person to really actually have like a YouTube channel that we're interviewing today, I kind of want to go through the story of PokeTips Mike and kind of how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, it's a wild story.
Yeah. Maybe you can take us from the beginning. Like, where do you think that like your YouTube career kind of started?
All right, so it started a really long time ago. So basically, as long as I can remember, I've always been interested in video making and just putting myself out there from a very young age. I used to love comic books. I used to love superheroes like Batman, Superman, all the superheroes. So when I was a really young kid, I used to write my own little comic books called Kids Comics. Nice name, I know. And I always wanted to take my characters and put them on a nice little show. I wanted to make my own little show.
That's awesome.
So this thing came out, YouTube. It's really dating myself right here, making myself sound old. But this thing came out, YouTube. And that was like the dream come true. That was where you could just go out there, you could express yourself, you could show anything you wanted to show. So I didn't put the kids' comics out there. But another thing I was always interested in was Pokemon. I used to love playing Pokemon way back in the day. I still love it. Obviously now, it's been a major part of my life. But I ordered Pokemon games basically online, and I imported them from Japan. And it was really cool because I had the game earlier than everybody else. So I wanted to share with the world basically my Pokemon journey, my Pokemon Let's Play. So I used my dad's old video camera, and the quality was just plain awful. I had this nice little, I was holding it in one hand, I had my DS in the other hand, and I had this shaky little video footage right there. But I put that up on YouTube, and that's really how I got started way back making Pokemon videos. And then my interest changed over time. I stopped doing Pokemon, I did other online games, and life moved on. It never really picked up for the longest time, but it was always a passion project of mine. It was always something I just really enjoyed doing. So I didn't care how big the audience was.
Yeah.
How many views I got, all that type of stuff. I was just having fun with it.
Yeah,
so
dude.
I kept going on and on and on, and as my life went on, I realized that I started to grow a little bit of a following. 1,000 subscribers, huge milestone for me. 10,000 subscribers, 20,000 subscribers, changed my YouTube channel. And then it eventually got to a point in my life where I was done with my 2 years of community college. I was working at a job that was, it was all right. It was fun, but it wasn't really my passion. And my life didn't really have a clear-cut direction to go in. Mm-hmm. I was considering taking my college a little bit further. I wanted to be a public relations major. So I was considering going to a 4-year college, but I don't come from a lot of money. So I would have to take a lot of debt. I would have to go into debt to go back to college, and it was really something I wanted to avoid. I don't like debt, so...
Who does?
Nobody likes debt, so it was really something I wanted to avoid. So everything kind of came together at this one point. My college years ended. I was at this job, but it wasn't really going anywhere. I moved up as far as I could without really going full-time into that job. And then I had this YouTube channel in the background that was doing pretty well. It was doing all right for somebody that just was casually doing it for fun.
How big was that at that point?
At that point, I was basically around, I want to say 60,000 subscribers.
Okay.
60,000 subscribers. A new game recently came out, so the channel was experiencing a surge in popularity. And up until that point, I never really was able to focus full-time on YouTube. I took many hiatuses from YouTube because of school, because of life, because of other stuff that was just more important at the time.
Obviously. Understandable. Definitely, man.
But then when everything came together, I decided now was the time to take a risk because I didn't want to go into debt. I wasn't really going anywhere at the job, but I had this YouTube channel, which for me wasn't work. It was fun, and it was sustainable. And I really wanted to see how far I could take it if I put everything I could into that channel. Mm-hmm. So I did that, and I've been doing that for about a year now. And the results, well, getting to 500,000 subscribers, it's more than I ever thought I would ever get.
I mean, it's very impressive. And honestly, I think myself and all of the people that like knew you growing up, we were always like, dude, you should like go full in on this YouTube thing.
I do remember you actually telling me that.
Yeah, because we were like, man, like I don't know if people know that you also had like a MapleStory channel.
Yeah, I used to have a MapleStory channel, Toy Dueler back in the day. That was
when
my
we all
channel.
played together, and you were like actually very prominent and kind of like a celebrity within the server, and you had all these YouTube channels and you were like over 100K on that channel as well, right?
No, on the Toy Dueler channel, at its peak, I was at about 55,000. So
still very impressive, right?
Yeah, decent numbers.
Yeah. So I guess, I mean, this topic has actually come up in previous interviews and previous conversations, that the choice between pursuing the safe path of like university, college, and getting a job versus pursuing your passion. So could you kind of like dive a little deeper into that? Kind of like what was going in your head between these two choices, and maybe also how you felt maybe about like your peers or how your family viewed your choice as well?
That's a really good question, actually. So it was a really big decision for me to make. My family, nobody in my family ever finished college. So for me, especially I have a younger sister, for me it was finish college, be the first one in the family to go ahead and do that, be the one to, you know, get the stable job, follow the right path. But it wasn't really for me. When I first started college, I had no idea what I was going there for. And over time, I found out I liked public relations. But I always was a lot more passionate about just making my YouTube videos. And I never really thought that would be like a viable career path for me. I thought that just happened to people that were, I don't know, they're just more energetic, more, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to episode number 43 of, you know, like all that kind of crazy stuff. I thought it was just, I didn't think that was me. I didn't think that was gonna happen to my channel. But I just did what I loved. I did the guides that I loved. I just enjoyed making that kind of content. And I decided at that point in my life, it was worth it taking the risk. Because if I failed, if YouTube failed for me, well, I was 21 at the time. So
super young.
I figured if I failed at 21, I could always go back to college. I could always go back to another job. And I feel like as you get older in life, it's harder to make those types of decisions.
Oh, definitely.
When you're tied down, when you have a relationship, a serious relationship, family, you know, you're in control of other people's lives as well.
Yeah.
When other people depend on you. So I figured at that point in my life, at 21, I was in a safe place to go ahead and make that decision. And I really am happy that I made that decision, because every day I get to wake up and do something I love. I get to make so many people happy. It's my favorite thing is just like checking my Instagram or checking the comments of my videos and just seeing people say that my videos made them happy, that they love watching my stuff, that it helps enlighten them, it helps brighten their day.
What's your IG handle?
So my Instagram is at PokeTips Mike,
PokeTips
Mike.
All of this will be down in the below? No. Description below. Description below. But yeah, dude, that's like amazing. How did your parents kind of like feel about this decision? Because like obviously they didn't complete college, as you said, and you were the eldest of like the children, right? So how did they feel that like the eldest son wasn't gonna go actually complete university and get a job, and like
They were concerned. They were absolutely concerned because, they're a little older. They don't fully understand the internet and they just want what's best for me. So they wanted to see me succeed, and they were a little bit worried about the direction that I was going in, but they trusted me enough with my own destiny, with my own path, and they know when I really set my mind to something I could achieve whatever I really want to try. So they gave me the space, and I'm very, very grateful to my parents for allowing me that opportunity. I know a lot of other people, they would come from a lot stricter households where it wouldn't really be a possibility. So I consider myself extremely lucky to get to where I am right now.
Definitely.
I had the supportive parents that were there for me when I needed my time. It was the hardest part, telling them, hey, I want to quit my job and I want to go ahead and be a YouTuber. And they're just like,
well, what does that mean, right?
What does that mean?
Like YouTube is for like cat videos and memes.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was basically really the toughest part for me. Just embracing that, and knowing that I could fail. Knowing that I could fail. So again, every day when I wake up, I consider myself so lucky to be in this position. Getting big on YouTube, it's a lot of hard work, but it's a lot of luck too. There's some people that work so hard, tremendously hard, put their heart and their soul into videos, and they never really get anywhere with it. But it's really luck. It's luck.
Well,
luck and hard work.
YouTube algorithm.
Hit
the like button and
Scratch
subscribe.
the like button. Make sure get this video out there too,
Yeah, definitely. So I guess what was kind of like the turn? So we talked about the turning point of when you made the decision to go full on YouTube. Where was the turning point when you actually realized that, like, oh wow, this is something that I can do and keep doing for a full-time thing?
So that turning point really happened when I started putting 150% of my effort into that YouTube channel. I stopped going out, having a lot of fun. I dedicated at least 8 hours a day to the channel, and I put out so many videos. I tried to learn as best as I could how to make my videos better quality, put out stuff that was different than anybody else was doing, and I started gaining more of a following than I ever did before prior to that. And as the views started coming, as the subscribers started coming, as I started gaining that audience, I realized with the audience that I had, it was definitely sustainable. It was something I could do for a while. It was something I could maintain. It wasn't going to make me worry about how am I going to eat tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely.
So after it started growing and it just started snowballing and getting bigger and bigger and bigger, the worry started going away.
That's awesome, dude. So what does like a typical day for you kind of look like? Because, YouTube isn't the typical kind of job.
No, it's absolutely not. So the typical day. Now, this absolutely does not happen every single day because a big part of my thing is if Pokemon makes an announcement, I like to cover all the news stuff. So if Pokemon makes an announcement or something big drops, that changes my whole plan. But a typical day for me is I like to wake up anywhere from like 7 in the morning to around 8:30 in the morning. I love to go to the gym first thing in the morning. For me, I feel like that just gets me in the right mindset.
Definitely.
The hardest battle in the morning is getting out of bed. So if you could get out of bed and get under a heavy weight, that really prepares you for the rest of the day. Plus, it makes my mind feel so clear. I feel so peaceful after going there, make myself some breakfast. And then by 10 o'clock, I want to be sitting down in my chair and I want to be answering some emails, responding to fans, responding to business opportunities, all that kind of stuff. And also around that time, I'll start working on basically the video for the next day.
Yeah.
I try my best to not work on a video that I want to get out the same day because that gets a little rough,
You kind of want to focus in on one thing at a time.
Want to focus in on one thing at a time.
I got you, yeah.
For the best quality, you really want to put as much time and effort you can into a single video. So I start working on the next day's video, then have some lunch. By 6 o'clock, make some dinner. And then I would say my workday usually ends around 8 o'clock at night. So
wow, so you're working like 13-hour days, 7 to 8.
Anywhere from like 8 to 12 hours, I usually spend the day just working on YouTube stuff. It gets a little overwhelming at time.
Yeah.
And some days definitely get a lot longer than that. But that's the thing. When you're gifted this type of opportunity, when you have the fans, when you have the people out there that you don't want to disappoint, when you're lucky enough to be able to do what you love, it's not really work to you.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
the time flies by, and you don't even realize, oh, I just sat down 2 hours ago, and then it turns into 10.
The day is gone.
The day is gone.
And
So,
you have a video. That's awesome.
mm-hmm.
So, I guess, starting out, maybe what was, like, one of the challenges that you faced, or the most difficult challenge that you faced starting out versus the most difficult challenges that you're facing now that you have this big following?
I would say the most difficult challenge that I faced when I was starting out was, just being myself in front of the camera, being comfortable in front of the camera. That's always the toughest part, because when you're in front of the camera and you're not used to it, you have all these expectations. You see all these people out there that are good at their craft.
Yeah.
And you don't want to put out bad stuff, so you try so hard to be this person. But I find that people enjoy your stuff the most when you're yourself. Definitely. Don't force a personality that's not yours. So I could really go back to some of my older videos and just see myself just being uncomfortable in front of the camera because I'm not sure who I'm really supposed to be on the camera. But nowadays, it's fine because it's really just me, myself, being myself on the camera. Yeah. And I'm glad that people actually enjoy just watching me for who I am on the camera.
That's really inspiring, man. Nowadays,
I would say the most challenging thing... the most challenging thing is just my work schedule, It's
Are you
balancing
working 7
life.
days a week?
Yeah, it's really 7 days a week.
God.
I don't really have a set day off, and my girlfriend hates that. Because, you gotta make time for your girlfriend, too.
Yeah, keep your people close, right?
Exactly. You got to keep your family, your friends, your relationships close. That's the toughest challenge I have right now is just my personal life, work-life balance. Again, I love what I do so much that it's so easy for me to just have multiple days go by and not even feel like multiple days because just doing what I love.
That's awesome, man.
So once I figure that out, everything will be golden. I feel like that's never going to get fixed,
The work-life balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the struggle of a lot of people, I'm sure.
Definitely. I mean, especially that you're doing something that you're super passionate about, right? Mm-hmm. So, I guess, how do you compete against, like, these other YouTubers? Because I know there are other, like, popular Pokemon YouTubers.
Oh, yeah, there are lots of other Pokemon YouTubers out there.
Do you feel always, like, kind of this pressure to keep up with if they post something, like, you need to post something, or...
Now, when I first started out, that was another real big struggle that I had. It's just like, I saw all these other Pokemon YouTubers doing daily content, and I quickly realized daily content is not something I could ever do. Daily content, for me, it's too much. I completely lose the personal life that I have. The quality of my videos goes down, and my mental state is just too much,
Yeah.
So... I really don't feel like I have to compete with other people. I feel like as long as I'm just doing what I enjoy, then things just go the best that way. Obviously, I have to, keep an eye out, see what people like, what people don't. I like to keep an eye on Pokemon trends, what people enjoy to watch and all that kind of stuff. But I'm not really too worried about the other competition. I kind of have a very set idea of what I like to put out there. I have things that I love to do, like glitches in Pokemon games, little randomizer playthroughs. Again, Pokemon terms, but I have my own set stuff that I love to do. And then Pokemon itself, being a evolving game, there's always a new thing out there in Pokemon.
Yeah, a new game just got announced, right?
Not a new game, but they just announced a new expansion pack, so there's always new stuff to go with.
Awesome, yeah.
And the way my brain works is I'm constantly, even if I'm not even trying to, I'm constantly thinking of new ideas for stuff. And what I love to do is I always have my phone on me. I'll just whip out a little notepad and I'll just write down all these video ideas. So that way I never really run out of anything.
You'll have more ideas than time to actually make videos.
Exactly, and that's another big thing. Right now I have at least 10 ideas that I would love to make, but it's just I got to prioritize which one I want to get out there.
No, I'm starting to feel that problem. Like, I wake up in the morning, I'm like, like, this is a good video idea. Yeah. Or, like, this is a good side project I could work on. And it's like, I have a day job.
Because the thing is, so many people have all these ideas, but it's just, can you make those ideas happen?
Yeah, can you execute on it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
And that's a struggle, but it's a lot of fun. It's a very fun struggle to have.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want it, you'll make it work, right?
Again, the position I'm in right now, I feel so grateful. I feel so extremely grateful
do you ever feel like it could just disappear?
Yes, that is one thing that I am very conscious about with YouTube. You know, internet personalities in general, they blow up.
Oh yeah,
They blow up out of nowhere, like my channel did. It just blew up over the last year. But just as easily as my channel blew up to 500,000 subscribers, tomorrow something can change. The algorithm can stop recommending my videos. People will just decide, hey, I'm sick of hearing that guy talk. But, you know, I could just completely disappear tomorrow. So I always have stuff. It is a little scary, which is why right now I'm really just going in there as much as I can.
Yeah, taking advantage of it.
Taking advantage of the opportunity that I have, and I'm prepared for it to all just disappear one day. Although I'm hoping it doesn't. I'm hoping people still like to watch my videos. I have an unlimited amount of ideas, an unlimited amount of stuff that I want to do.
Yeah.
And even if, you know, people don't want to watch my Pokemon stuff, I'll still be putting it out there.
So what do you see as like the next step for your channel, and where do you see your channel like direction going in the future? I know you have like all these ideas, but do you see this channel evolving into something more, or maybe have other directions for it?
With the PokeTips channel, I just want to keep going in basically the same direction I'm going. I want to provide content for people to enjoy in the Pokemon realm. I want to keep doing basically the same stuff that I want to do. I want to expand the community a little bit more. I want to open up little fan servers where I can communicate with the fans. I try my best, and I really pride myself on being able to communicate with a lot of my audience.
Yeah.
I try to respond to as many comments as I can. I like the fact that right now my Instagram and my Twitter accounts are a little bit smaller, so those dedicated fans that try to seek me out, it's a lot easier for me to respond to them. It's still pretty tough because you'd be surprised how many messages you get.
Yeah, even like 100 people is a lot.
It's a lot. You want to provide as much value through the responses as you can.
Yeah.
So it becomes a lot, but I really just want to expand on the whole community aspect a little bit more in the future.
Definitely. And I mean, Pokemon's not going anywhere.
Yeah, Pokemon's not going anywhere anytime soon. It's
been around
growing
forever,
and growing.
and everyone loves it. Like, for every new generation of Pokemon, there's a new generation of like people that get into
New
it.
generation of fans, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, other directions I want to go into, I want to eventually one day start up a personal finance channel. I love just the topic of personal finance. I love learning about this stuff. I'm trying to collect a little bit more knowledge on it right now, trying to become as knowledgeable as possible. For me, something I really like to just, if I want to be an authority on something, if I want to tell people about stuff, I want to have a full understanding on it as well.
Definitely.
So right now I'm going through that learning phase, but it's another one of my interests, so look out for that in the future.
Maybe we can talk about finance in the future.
Exactly, that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. So I guess kind of going back to more of a general sense of things. For someone starting out, what would you give any advice to like a starting creative or someone that's thinking about quitting their job and pursuing a creative passion, or maybe trying to do it on the side?
Well, I get that question a lot, actually. How do you start up the channel?
Yeah.
How do you grow? How do you take the risks?
Probably the hardest part is getting started. Cause
it really is the hardest part. Because, again, YouTube, it's so competitive nowadays.
Yeah.
Everybody has a channel. Everybody has an idea they want to put out there. But for those smaller creators, it can be really tough to get your videos viewed, to gain that audience. So, for me, my biggest piece of advice to anybody that wants to be a content creator is don't give up. Don't give up. Don't stop. I see so many people, they put out videos, they pour their heart and soul into it for a little bit, and then they just completely disappear.
Yeah.
And they completely stop because nobody ever views their stuff. You just got to keep going. You just got to keep going and going and going. For the longest time, I had no audience. I got lucky gaining an audience. I knew how to market myself a little bit, but for the longest time, my audience was very small. And there were times where I considered, okay, well, I might as well just stop. But I enjoyed what I did, so I never really stopped. And then the audience came to me. So
that's awesome.
Always keep going. Another thing that I would say is just follow your interests. If you're not interested in what you're doing, people are going to be able to tell that you're not really genuine about what you're actually talking about. And there are other people out there that are genuine about what you're trying to make content on. So be genuine, be interested. If you're not interested in it, don't force yourself to do something you're not interested in. It shows through the content. I could always tell with newer creators, newer content creators and all that stuff, if they're forced to do something, if they feel like they're forcing themselves to do it, or if they're really enjoying what they're talking about. That way you'll see it just flows more naturally.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, no one enjoys like fake content and fake people, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, just being genuine nowadays is a huge thing on YouTube. That's why the people that are at the top, because you feel like you can relate to them. You understand them. You see their life. You see what's going on. You see the passion that they put into that content. And I feel like that's what separates a lot of the big creators that make it from the creators that don't.
Yeah, it's not a business. It's more of like your personality, right?
Yeah.
That comes out.
Because YouTube, it's become something that I could really do for the long term. It's become something that makes it so I don't have to worry about having a side job. Yeah. But I don't care about any of that stuff. It's a nice bonus. Don't get me wrong. It's a nice bonus. And it really helps me dedicate my full-time effort into it. Yeah. But if I wasn't passionate about what I was doing, I would hate waking up every single day. It would show through the content that I don't really enjoy it.
Definitely.
And just being genuine, actually enjoying what I do makes it so much easier.
That's awesome, man. I guess kind of also going on this idea of advice. So that's the advice for the general person trying to break into the creative space. Mm-hmm. Would there be any advice that you would give to a younger PokeTips Mike when he's just starting out?
A younger PokeTips Mike? I would just let him know. Just keep trying. Don't stop. Don't stop. Put your time into it. I would have told myself to leave my job a little bit earlier.
Really?
But honestly, I if I could, I wouldn't even tell myself anything. I wouldn't want to mess anything up. I feel like if I went back in time and told myself something, maybe I would get confident and I would mess myself up and then I wouldn't get there. I feel so lucky that everything aligned the way that it did, and I really wouldn't change anything.
Damn, dude. That's awesome. I mean, it's like everything happened for a reason, and it's the journey that brought you there, to brought you here today, and 500K subs.
Again, that number just blows my mind.
I can't even imagine 500K people.
I can't either, which makes it kind of hard to visualize all of it, but 500,000 people saw my content, decided to click that button.
1 million by the end of the year?
I would love that. I never, ever, ever thought I could get to anywhere near 1 million. Now it seems like something that could actually happen someday.
You're halfway there.
Halfway there. Closer to 1 million than I am 0. So.
Yeah, dude. That's awesome.
But it's insane. It's absolutely insane. I thank everybody that subscribes to me. It's wild.
Dang. All right, man. Well, we talked about a lot of things. So I guess, do you have any closing remarks or questions for me or questions or something that you want to tell the audience before we close out?
Questions for you.
Yeah, dude.
Well, why'd you start this whole podcast?
Yeah, sure. So I've actually never talked about it yet in a video. So I started this podcast with Mahim. So Mahim, I grew up with him. Mm-hmm. We've been high school friends. We ran track together. We've always kept in touch, even when we went to different universities. And I've always been trying to push the needle for myself. Try to obtain some type of success. And that type of success has been redefined over and over again. It's all right, I got to get into college. I got to get into the major of computer science. I got to get a job. And I did all those things. And I felt that I was actually more of addicted to this process of continual improvement and self-development. And Mahim was also the same way, where we were looking for efficient ways to do things, to have better mindsets to achieve your goals. And eventually that kind of transferred into hey, I'm helping you achieve your goals. Well, not you specifically, but Mahim, right? And knowing that I'm having this impact on another person was kind of nice. Saying oh yeah, I'm being your accountability partner. And you're being mine. And we're helping each other progress forward into kind of adulthood in life. So the reason why we made this channel was let's do something together and let's provide value for people that we don't know, and that's accessible through YouTube. So that's kind of why we started this show.
That's awesome. That's really, really nice. I like that reasoning. See, I could tell. Keep going with it. You're going to do well.
Yeah, dude. We're on episode 13, and you know what? Probably by the end of the year, we'll get to episode 100, hopefully.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well, man, thank you so much for having me on this podcast. This is the first time I ever did a podcast, which is a lot of fun. I've done a lot of stuff in the past similar to podcasts, like radio. I used to be a little radio morning show host for, I want to say, a good hot year. That was a lot of fun back in college. But, you know, it's always fun. It's a very nice little intimate conversation.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
You know, I learned a lot of stuff that I didn't know about you, and we've been friends for so long, you know?
Exactly.
Like, you just don't hear this kind of stuff and, like, the story behind it. But anyway, thank you for watching. This is episode 13 of the Self-Started Show. My name is Alex.
And I'm Mike, PokeTips Mike. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this content, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. And
ring that bell.
We'll see you in the next one. Thanks again.
Take care.